Hello, I'm Jashykins, and I'm here to review the supernatural episode, Man's Best Friend with Benefits. And of course, the title comes from the fact that, hey, there's a dog, and the dog can actually transform into a woman, and the dog woman is the familiar of a witch cop. Yay! That title makes so much fucking sense now. Anyways, this episode doesn't focus on what I consider the main story arcs of this season. It doesn't focus on Castiel, the demon bitch that lives in heaven. It doesn't concern the trials that God has placed for someone to complete, and Sam's the one completing them, but it does focus on a witch cop and his familiar. And the whole thing is that this witch cop has been having nightmares where he's killed people, and lo and behold, in the real world, he's killed people. But it turns out that, hey, he didn't really kill them. A jealous lover, another male witch, has gone after this witch cop. Because the witch cop, took his familiar, but really the familiar dog woman chose the witch cop over this jealous lover. Yeah. So the witch cop never actually really killed anyone. It was more that the jealous lover was like, I'm just going to plant these memories into his mind. And also, he's made the police have a case against the witch cop so that the witch cop won't really have any support in the witch community, or he can't find any support in the cop community either. And the familiar and the witch cop at the end up having to leave because they sort of want to live and not be put into jail. Yeah. And it was pretty decently done, though Dean and Sam act like they have met this witch cop before. The thing is, I don't really remember that. It could probably just be me because I have not seen every single Supernatural episode, and sometimes I don't really recall an episode. So it's hopefully this witch cop was mentioned in the past episode, or the event shown, and so if that's the case, someone comment below and tell me at what episode this witch cop previously appeared in. And some have pointed out that, well, Sam and Dean, were really relegated to the background. They were more like, oh, this is Supernatural, so of course the brothers have to be in here. Let's squeeze them in. But I thought they were shown doing stuff and shown often enough that they were part of this episode. Though really the whole focus of this episode was the familiar and the witch cop. Though, Sam and Dean were really good at investigating if the witch cop needed to be killed or not. And while they might have not solved everything in time, they were a good part of helping. So I don't really mind that. Now, Sam and Dean. throughout a good majority of season 8 this season, you know, it's like, oh, I don't know, I didn't really like how their relationship was going, because I love Sam, I love Dean, but Sam was just like written out of character, and it seems like Sam is supposed to not be able to do any wrong, and Dean is like I'm still waiting for Sam to say, "I'm sorry, Dean, for not looking for you while you were in purgatory. I was sort of a jackass, so I'm really sorry. Do you forgive me?" But the closest we've gotten to that is Dean going, maybe Sam has a point. Basically, yeah. Yeah. But, so, I'm still leery about their bond, but right now it's not as bad as it was previously. And the concerns Dean is showing for Sam are very brotherly. He's like, hey, these trials, I should be the one doing it. I mean, I'm your fucking big brother. I'm the one who's supposed to take care of you, to protect you. I can't let you do these trials. You know, it's not controlling. It's just more like Dean really cares. And of course, Sam has to bring some reality to Dean by saying, you're my big brother, but these trials I have to do, and I just can, you know, I want to survive the trial, so I'm better at this than you. You are sort of suicidal at times. Yeah. And it was a little part of the episode, but I did like, I think it was near the beginning where Dean and Sam were arguing about the Three Stooges. I was like, that's just adorable. Mind you, I've only seen a little of the Three Stooges, you know, but they're a classic, and I'm not a big fan, but I just loved hearing Sam and Dean sort of argue about it. And oh yeah, Sam is waiting at the motel room for Dean to get back from a little beer run, and and the familiar comes in, you know, as just a Great Dane, and he's like, then when Dean returns, Sam stops him from coming in, like, I'm sorry, she just came in, and I just had to, you know, I just like rub her belly, let's let her stay the night. And Dean looks in, and it's a woman, and, you know, as I said, a hot woman, and and Sam just like, he's like, she was a dog before! And then, you know, the familiar ends up talking about, you know, what the witch cop is going through. So yeah, and it was sort of nice that throughout the episode, Sam and the familiar were just like little rivals. You could definitely tell Dean was attracted because, hey, hot woman. I believe Dean to be bisexual with a strong preference towards women, so it's like, hot woman? Then of course he's like starts to sort of question her about shit, and she's like, basically says, yeah, no. So yeah, I like that interaction. I like seeing the witches in Supernatural have a better life cast to them. The thing is, though, I don't know if previously in Supernatural the witches were treated with anything but distaste. Because I just remember the Supernatural episodes I've seen with witches, not too friendly. you know, the brothers are like, hey, you're which eye? Let's shake hands. So I don't know. But anyways, Supernatural Man's Best Friend with Benefits. It was a good episode. True, the brothers weren't like center stage, but they were there helping, doing their duty. I think it was a nice balance between the brothers and, you know, the story of the week. But of course, I sort of prefer the episodes that are directed towards the main plot instead of, you know, side plots. Personal preference. Anyways, one last thing I'll say about this episode is, not really this episode, but Garth. I love Garth. I love seeing me some Garth in my Supernatural episodes. And one of the reasons that I thought that, you know, DJ Qualls, the actor who plays Garth, wasn't in Supernatural is because, you know, he's a main character in the new show Legit, which I highly suggest you check out. I don't watch it every week, but I sometimes wait a little bit and watch a bunch of episodes. It's good. But anyways, he plays one of the main characters. And so I thought, oh, that's the reason he probably won't be coming back to Supernatural. And I was talking with some of my Supernatural friends about it, and they're like, yeah, he said he can still do Supernatural from time to time. I'm like, then he better get his ass back on the show, because Garth, while being a minor side character, I love him. He's one of the side characters I like to see again and again and again. Of course, sometimes my favorite side characters just like to hit the fucking bucket. Loki / Gabriel and Balthazar. Fucking miss them. Like that. Anyways, I have been Jashykins, owner at jashykins.blogspot.com. If you want to contact me for whatever reasons, you can do so at facebook.com/Jashykins fan page or on Twitter at Jashykins. If you're viewing this on YouTube, subscribe, like, comment, yada yada yada. If you're viewing this on my blog, thank you just for watching. Comment below, share amongst friends, and hey, now that you're on my blog, feel free to explore and see the wonders. Anyways, hopefully this will save this time, and until next video, goodbye.